Right, so I wanted to come in here. It's been a minute since I filmed the video. I didn't expect to take such a long hiatus, and by long hiatus I mean we're not talking like gamers joint levels. Long hiatuses. We've been away for like a week, and I wanted at the start of the year not to go like too long without putting a video out. But I just haven't had anything really to talk about, and I was thinking about it, and Captain America's done now. The J. Michael Straczynski's run finished a couple weeks ago, and I never actually really talked about it. Even though in my big every comic of last year wrap up video, I kind of talked about how the start of the run was really good, but it felt like diminishing returns basically since issue 6. Issue 7 came along and it was like, right, we're going to take it into a more supernatural lens. And then by the time that the book had finished, it wasn't even a Captain America book. So we're gonna look through, or basically do a little retrospective on J. Michael Straczynski's Captain America. And I don't know how many people are going to be interested in this. I mean, it's a run from a highly celebrated, writer of Babylon 5, J. Michael Straczynski. Like, he's the guy that wrote basically the comic series, or the comic story, Spider-Man Coming Home, which got me into reading comic books, if not week to week, at least got me into buying trades and stuff, and got me into reading these in a big way. So J. Michael Straczynski is a big part of why I read comics now. Even though, he's kind of a hotly contested, controversial writer surrounding the whole No More Day thing, which wasn't his choice, but, I wasn't around for that part of Marvel, so I can talk about the controversies of the last, 10 years at this point, which is woof. 10 years I've been in this kind of hobby for. That's wild. That's wild. I've been reading these books for 10 years. That's half my life, essentially. Basically half my life I've put to reading comics, and just about a third of it I've put to reading and talking about them in a constructive and or more critical lens. But we're going to start off by looking at the first arc, which I thought was great. I'll be completely honest. I thought the first arc was pretty amazing, to be honest. It was essentially Cap becoming a landlord, and this kind of not shadow organization, but this guy coming in being essentially, I can give villains exactly what they want. And it was this big thing of being able to predict what can happen in the future and who is going to be a kind of change agent, or who is going to be seminal in creating a big positive change, either politically or on the world stage, going forward. And yeah, there's the political undertones, but those are kind of part and parcel with a book like Captain America. And this villain targets Captain America as a new change agent, and is right, this guy's got to die. and a lot more stuff ensues from that, and it's like, it's portrayed as this Captain America back to basics story, but the main kind of antagonist is more supernatural than they maybe like maybe we're led to believe from the get-go. And I think that's my biggest issue, is that everything going forward from there, like the first arc, yeah, everything seems relatively boots on the ground, and it's got all of the hallmarks of a Captain America story. Like Sharon's there, you know, it feels like quintessential Captain America. Like it is shrouded in this like political intrigue kind of angle. I do think that maybe a lot of the it's obviously a left-leaning book. Captain America has always been that. Like, it's always been very politically left-leaning, which I feel like is to its credit, because that is who Steve Rogers is. Steve Rogers has always been a left-leaning character. I feel like if it took a stance in any other direction, then that wouldn't really make sense to the character and who they've been throughout their history. Captain America now represents the antithesis of like it. Captain America represents what America should look towards, right? And I know this is a very dicey thing to kind of talk about, especially considering what the climate of America is like at the moment. Anyway, I don't intend to pass judgment on any of your stupid decisions, but and this book was written way before the most recent, things I don't need to reference in this video. But yeah, I feel like it did feel like I was being beaten over the head with things I knew already. And it even more so the further you get into the book. The further you get into the book, the less it becomes about Captain America, boots on the ground, being a landlord, helping people. And I wanted more of that. I wanted more of his relationships with people, as opposed to his relationships, or no, we don't even get that. I'm not as interested in Captain America fighting demons and, angels showing up, and that's what we get in the next couple issues. We get this kind of angel character showing up and being like, right, my brother is the manifestation of death, not that manifestation of death, but he is a version of death, and he's coming, and you've got to put together a team of people to go and fight this kind of like manifestation of evil. You're all probably gonna die, and like, you're not a supernatural character, so you're not really equipped to deal with this. But like, you were given something by Doctor Strange, which you had to give back, and things happen, and basically this team is going to be the right people to deal with whatever you've got to deal with. And I didn't get anything from the second arc. I'll be completely honest, I didn't get anything from the second arc. I didn't feel invested in any of the characters. That all of the like Captain America stuff, like Sharon's not in it, and he even says, I wish I could be spending more time with Sharon. Like Falcon's not in it. Falcon's not in any of the book, to be honest. And to be fair, he's got his own things that he's doing. He's on the Avengers now, so it doesn't make sense for him to be popping out of that book to be helping Captain America with whatever he's doing. But it's just, it doesn't have the flavour of like Captain America and that promise of street level Captain America that we got from the first few issues completely out of the window. And then when we get into the last arc, or the last 3 issues, issue 14, 15 and 16, first of all, can I just say, when is a Marvel title, a Marvel series, gonna have the guts to go further than 20? Like, you see so many books get cut at issue 10, or cut at issue 16, or cut at issue 20 even. Very few books go past issue 20 now. And that's really disheartening to me. Like, I would love to be able to read a like 30 to 40 issue run of Captain America by Straczynski, even though I don't feel like these specific issues were showing off his best stuff. But what is it? 8 mid issues of a 30 to 40 issue run. That's still about a quarter of it. But it's like easier to swallow that because it can be seen as like a rough patch, and it gets so much better, you know, once you get to like issue 20. Getting past issue 20, so much better. But when writers aren't allowed to have like big sprawling runs on books, and I know Straczynski is busy, I know he's got other things to deal with. The truth of the matter is, though, what is the other thing he's doing? Some weird like team up thing with like, and that might be a passion project that he's had in the pipeline. It could be the reason that he was brought back to Marvel was to do these team up issues of like Rocket Raccoon teams up with Doctor Doom, or Nick Fury fights Fin Fang Foom. That could be like a big passion project of his. I don't know if it is. If I was told that was the case, I would say that screams of BS to me. It would sound more like Captain America was the passion project, and that's just a thing you asked him to do, and because you wanted to make those books look more prestige on the shelves, and you wanted that what the hell factor, or what the heck factor, of people walking into a comic book shop and seeing like Rocket Raccoon teams up with Doctor Doom. What's this all to do with? And it's Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski writing it. Oh, I've got to check that out. It feels more like you pulled J. Michael Straczynski out of that, or out of Captain America to do that, which he didn't want to do. And this book suffered because of it. Because the final arc, the final 3 issues, first off, 3 issues is not an arc. Like, 3 issues is not a trade, anyway. 3 issues can be an arc. But this isn't an arc. This is a tangent. And it's the end of the book, but it ends on a tangent. And the tangent is, essentially, you should have given J. Michael Straczynski a Thor book. That's the tangent. He uses the last 3 issues of Captain America to tie up a loose end from Thor that involved a thing that he created, Broxton, Oklahoma, which isn't a thing that he created. He didn't create the actual town of Broxton, Oklahoma, but he created the idea of, oh, Asgard was floating over it, and then the siege happened, and then Donny Cates came in with his run and was like, I'm going to blow up the entirety of Oklahoma. I'm going to blow up the entirety of Broxton. And everyone that's there is going to die. And it's just to give a giant middle finger up to Thor. Essentially. I really liked that Donny Cates story, by the way. It's really unfortunate what happened to him after that story came out, because after that came out, he was then in a really, really violent car accident, and there's still a big question mark on whether he's okay or not. So yeah, and this felt more like I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to do the job that really should be up to Donny Cates, because that's my thing. Why did he take that thing? Why is that fucked up? I want to make it like how it was when I was writing Thor in a Captain America book. And that's what it feels like to me, because I was really excited for issue 14, because I was like, the J. Michael Straczynski Thor run was excellent. And Straczynski on Spider-Man was what got me into reading comic books. So, Cap, Spidey, Thor, all under the umbrella of J. Michael Straczynski, going on an adventure. This is going to be my favourite versions of all three of those characters. Not my favourite version of Captain America. That would be probably the MCU's version, if I was going to be completely honest. I don't think a comic book voice for Captain America has really had me super duper invested as of yet. Wait to see what the next run is. That might win me over. I like the character of Captain America. I think I really like the character of Captain America. It's just I've preferred him in the setting of fuck it, Bendis. I think Bendis had my favorite voice for Captain America, like during New Avengers. Like what I've read of New Avengers, I think that might be my favorite voice for Captain America, and obviously it's like Secret Invasion as well. And I think it was Mark Millar who did Civil War. Yeah, I think that might be my favorite voice for Captain America, and I kind of like what they're doing with him now in the Ultimate Universe as well. Despite that book not being my favorite, I don't mind what is going on with Captain America in there. I kind of like the relationship that he's got with the Human Torch in that book as well. Where the fuck the Human Torch came from in the Ultimate Universe, I don't know, but it happened. You know, he's there. I like that relationship that they've got. But this, it just feels to me like, Straczynski wasn't given time to cook. Essentially, it felt, this wasn't the story that he wanted to tell. And it's unfortunate that the run before was cut short for this. And it's unfortunate that this was cut short for whatever's going to happen next. For undoubtedly because they wanted a Sam book to be on the shelves for when the new Captain America movie comes out. That's undoubtedly what it is. Because it's like, oh, the new Captain America movie has Sam Wilson as Captain America. We want to make sure that character is pushed out to the shelves. The thing you can do with that is you could reprint the Sam Wilson Captain America books, all of them, or you can have 2 Captain America titles, like you did a year ago. What's so wrong with that? But also, Sam is on the Avengers now, so he doesn't need a book about his tangential, stories and what he's doing with the Avengers, because we're supposed to believe, oh, he's fighting Red Hulk on Earth while also gambling with Black Cat in space. What? But that's a comic book thing that you just got to deal with they'll be doing one thing in one book and doing something completely different in another book that is running at the same time, and both of them are meant to be canon, but you never know. I don't want to say that this is bad, because it's not. It's just there wasn't enough time in the oven, unfortunately, and I hope that Straczynski gets another crack at Captain America. To be honest, I would love a Captain America team, or a Captain America led team book fronted by Straczynski. If he's doing a team up book now, there's got to be something in the pipeline. To be fair, Babylon 5 creator, you should give him something sci-fi. You should give him like Guardians or something. I feel like that might play to his strengths a bit more than this. I'll be completely honest. I keep saying Babylon 5 creator. I should have Googled what Babylon 5 is, because I'm now thinking there's either 2 things. It's either like Stargate or Star Trek, or it's the other thing that's in my mind is a police procedural. Like, Babylon 5, I should have done my research on that. I'm sorry, that's really unprofessional of me. But I want to see Straczynski do more stuff. This is just, I think, weak for what I've read of his so far, which has all been great. This is just a blemish on it. And even then, there is sparks of great in this. I still love his Thor. I think his Spider-Man is a reflection of what Spider-Man is in Marvel Comics at the moment, which is a bit of a dweeb, which he shouldn't be. Like, my opinion on Peter Parker is he should be allowed to grow up. And as an adult now, he should act like an adult. And I'm not saying that adults can't be fallible. I'm not saying that adults can't be, Peter Parker isn't he is an everyman, and he should always be an everyman, right? But he shouldn't be a child, or he shouldn't be immature. Like, you can have the kid appeal character. Spider-Man can't always be your Bumblebee, essentially. Like, he can be... There's a reason why Batman is I think there's things... Spider-Man always can be relatable, right? But I don't understand this idea of, like, keeping Peter young, especially with Miles around. And, like, especially with Spider-Boy being around as well. Even, like, if you wanted to keep a young Peter Parker around, like, that's why the Ultimate series, the Ultimate Universe was created way back in the year 2000. It was to be a Spider-Man that looked more akin to the one that was in the movie. And then to full circle that, or to kind of square that circle in the most recent Ultimate Comics, we're getting an older Peter, or a Peter that is the age that he is now, that should be how Peter is acting now. Essentially, we're getting a Spider-Man that fans have been screaming at the bit for ages, who is married with kids, who is older, and, you know, he still has that kind of relatability of being just a bit of a schlub, you know, but not in a bad way, but in a way of, like, a working class guy in his mid-30s. He just feels like a working class guy in his mid-30s who gets some extra confidence through superpowers and through making a friend who's a billionaire and through, you know, and like he's a guy who's just really protective of his. But anyway, we're talking about Captain America here, not Ultimate Spider-Man. I can talk about Ultimate Spider-Man for years, and I hope I hope that series goes on for years as well. Because yeah, I'm really enjoying Ultimate Spider-Man. If you couldn't tell, this was ultimately, I think this is a book that, this is one of those runs that is going to be forgotten about. In 10 to 15 years, people are going to be like, Straczynski did Captain America? When? Why did I know about this? And then they'll read it, and I'll be like, oh, there's only 3 trades. And it's mid. Because unfortunately that is the best way to describe this book. It's not bad enough to be frustrating, and it's not good enough to be hailed as like the all-time classic, as like an all-time classic. And unfortunately, a name like Straczynski should bring that kind of gravitas. And my expectations for this, because of who was writing it, were a lot higher than the end result. And unfortunately, this kind of just ended up being a bit mid, for me personally. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you did read Straczynski's Captain America. Yeah, let me know what you thought of it. Am I completely wrong? Is this a massive W for Straczynski, or am I being too nice on it as well? Am I missing something good or bad? Am I just, you know, too vanilla with my takes? But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will probably be Mistborn 2. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. I want to try and hit 2,000 subscribers before hopefully before my birthday in August. So, you know, if we can hit that goal earlier than that, that'd be great. I would love to be at 1,100 by in 2 weeks. That'd be great. But yeah, hopefully we can hit a milestone there at some point soon. Anyways, see you guys in the next video. Peace.